welcome back to another video. So something a little bit different today. I wanted to do a little bit of a sit down chat, and I'm actually going to start a sit down chat series where I can go into topics in a little bit more depth than what I would normally do on my YouTube videos or my vlogs, and I'm just going to add it in as an addition to the vlogs. So now I'll be posting 2 YouTube videos a week. One will be sort of sit down chat, more in-depth topic, and just chatting, keeping it casual, keeping it authentic, no sort of flashy visuals or anything like that. And then I'll still sort of keep my normal YouTube videos, the vlogs going, because I also love that kind of thing too. I think with the sit down chats, it's definitely a little bit outside of my comfort zone, and last year the YouTube videos or the vlogs were outside of my comfort zone, and I want to continue that trend and keep doing things that make me a little bit scared, make me feel uncomfortable, and this is definitely it. So welcome to episode 1. Let's get into it. The topic of today's chat is how to deal with setbacks. So to give you a little bit of context, I had a little setback, a little minor overuse injury flare up on Thursday morning. So I went for a run on Wednesday and I could just slightly feel my Achilles, but I didn't really know that it would be or come to anything. But when I woke up on Thursday morning, I could barely walk. So I was starting to spiral, and I was thinking about the marathon that I have coming up in June, and I was thinking about the YouTube video that I had planned to film yesterday, and all my content evolves around running. I have to walk at work a lot. I'm a personal trainer at a local gym, and I was thinking back to an old injury that I had last year, at the beginning of last year, and I couldn't run for a good couple of weeks, and I really didn't want that to be the case with my Achilles this time, or my injury this time. And yeah, it did start to get to me, and that's when I sort of stopped myself and said, no, I'm not going to let this get to me like it did last time. I'm not going to let it get me down. I'm going to figure out ways how I can come back better from this, and I can keep moving forward. So I got my shoes on, had a cup of tea like I always do, had a banana, and then I went to the gym. It was an upper body session, so it didn't really affect that. But I just got on with my day, went in, trained my clients in the morning. I didn't have any afternoon clients that day. And then I just rested my Achilles the whole day. And that's where the idea sort of came about, on how to deal with setbacks and how we can use them to become better. And this not only applies to running, but also any sort of setback that you get throughout your life. But I am going to link it back to running, because that's a big interest of mine at the moment. So leading on from that, first things first, I've written down some notes, and what I want to chat about is look at the big picture. It's generally not that much of a big deal. Obviously, it depends what kind of setback you have. But in terms of an overuse injury, yes, maybe if it's close to an event, you might not be able to do it, or it's going to affect your results. But if the event's still a wee while away, yes, it's going to affect our training, but we're still reasonably healthy. We've still hopefully got a roof over our head, family's healthy, life is good, still got a job, things are good, and we can't let that get us down too much, and it then starts to affect other things in our life. Because yeah, it's only in the big picture, in the grand scheme of things, it's only a very small issue. In a couple of years down the track, hopefully it's going to make us a better person. So first sort of point is look at the big picture. It's not actually as big a deal as we think it is in the grand scheme of things. And if we catch it early, then hopefully we can work on it, which leads me to my next point, which is we need to learn from our mistakes. We need to learn from the setbacks. So for my Achilles injury, I need to analyze what's happened or what's changed over the last few weeks that's caused this overuse injury to flare up. So last week we were on holiday for about a week or 2 weeks, and we were doing a lot of walking as well as my normal running week, and I didn't really change my running volume, but we did about an extra 40 k's worth of walking, which obviously I'm not used to, and that was a lot of strain still on my legs, and I didn't really think about it at the time, but that was too much, and I was actually overloading my calves and obviously my Achilles, and that's what's then caused them to flare up a little bit this week. So how can I learn from that? One, I know that if I do go away and I'm doing a lot of extra walking or extra activities that are increasing the load on my legs, then I just need to maybe decrease that running volume if I want to still do the activities, or just be conscious of not to overdo it, so then those activities don't have an effect on my running. So it's just a little bit of playing around, realizing that the things you do, especially with running, it is going to affect your running. And also I need to make sure that my calves are nice and strong to support my Achilles, and they have the strength there to handle the type of loads that I'm putting them under. And just like anything, we've got to increase that volume slowly over time. So that's what I learned from that, and now we can move on, and that brings me to my next point, which is don't completely stop everything. So don't just get an overuse injury or get a setback and lie in bed all day and do nothing about it until it feels like it's going away. Don't stop all your exercise altogether. Don't stop going to work. Go to work if you still can. Obviously this will change depending on your injury, but still keep working towards slowly in some way the goals that you have. So for example, my fitness goal at the moment is to run a 3:30 marathon in June, and obviously I need to be running to train for that, and I couldn't run yesterday and I can't run today still, which isn't ideal, but instead I went to the gym and I did some cardio on the rower, some low impact cardio on the rower, ski erg and the assault bike or the air bike, and I just sort of kept my heart rate in my aerobic zone, so just like a zone 2 easy run would be. Obviously it's not as perfect as a run, but it's the next best thing that I could do to keep my fitness up. And something that I did in the past last year when I got my hip injury, I just completely stopped pretty much all cardio altogether. I was going for some walks, but my heart rate would never get high enough for it to be of any benefit to me, or very little benefit. So don't stop everything. You've got to keep that cardio up. Look at the next best thing. What can you do? Okay, I've got a wrist injury. Say if I was into the gym, I've got a wrist injury. Okay, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep doing legs and cardio whilst that wrist injury heals. And then once it's healed, I haven't let everything go. So all I need to work on is building that strength back up in my upper body, because I haven't been doing that because of the injury. Same goes for my Achilles injury. Okay, I'm going to not get that running volume in, but I can get my fitness in somewhere else that's then going to help when I can run again, so I haven't lost a whole lot of fitness during that time that I'm injured. On the flip side to that, I have seen people overdo it. So they'll get a little overuse injury like some shin splints or patella tendon pain, or say in my case an Achilles overuse injury, and they will keep trying to run. They won't rest. They'll keep doing some walking or keep doing things that are aggravating it and just try to muscle their way through it. They'll overdo it, and they won't listen to their body when their body's telling them that they have an issue that needs to be addressed. So don't be one of those people. Don't overdo it. We've all done it, but in the long run, it's actually going to be a lot worse off than if you were to just rest and recover and do the necessary things that you need to do to help with that recovery process. So for example, say I woke up yesterday morning, my Achilles is sore, I started to spiral, and then I just decided to grit it out and go for my run and not really take any notice of it. I could have made that injury even worse, and then eventually it might get to the point that I really can't run at all, and it takes a couple of weeks for that injury to heal, rather than it's Friday now, not even 2 days later, and my Achilles is so much better after just resting it yesterday and having a rest today too. And I've still got some cardio in, doing some other stuff. It's not ideal, but it's definitely better than having to have 2 weeks off because you didn't listen to your body and you overdid it. So don't overdo it. You've got to listen to your body, and you've got to prioritize recovery, which is my next point. So obviously an overuse injury is because your body's not recovering from the load and it's not handling the load that you're putting it under. So you've really got to make sure that you do prioritize recovery during these times. So make sure you're eating high protein foods, make sure you're getting those carbs in for the energy during your workouts, because hopefully you're still keeping some sort of workout in, but make sure you're recovering also, so you're not overdoing it with those new exercises like the row or the ski erg in my case, and you're also getting enough sleep. So prioritize your recovery. It's important. That's where your muscle's going to recover from the exercise that you're doing. It's going to repair and become stronger, and we need to let it do its thing. So don't skip that step. It's a really important step when you have a setback like an overuse injury. So setbacks, they always suck, but we've got to look at them as an opportunity to learn. We can't let it get us down. We can't spiral into a negative headspace. And if we do these things that I've talked about, then we can potentially get over these setbacks a lot quicker without it even setting us back further than what it really needs to. So give these tips a go if you are experiencing a setback or an overuse injury. I do feel for you, but there is still things that you can do. So keep working on it. Don't give up completely, and you'll be back to it soon enough. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.